The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. Before we get started, I just want to make it clear that this video is not meant to send hate towards amandla Stenberg at all, but this is more so a bit of a critique with some things that they have done that I have noticed. The main reason I am saying that this is not hate towards them is because they have already had to deal with so much racism since they were young. And they still have had to deal with it recently within the last few months from the Star Wars fandom. And we know how that fandom is. But that being said, this is something that we have got to talk about because they are always at the crime scene at this point when it comes to Hollywood and colorism.
Come on, boys, get loud. 'Cause when the music starts bumping, the whole place will be jumping. It's my scene, my scene. You know what I'm.
Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harry Hook's Pirate Ship. I am the captain, you are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you want to know why? Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. No one is worthy of being the first mate, but hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Today, we are going to talk about a public figure that I have been aware of since I was pretty young, and that has a lot to do with the fact that we're about roughly the same age and how I have just noticed some repeated behaviors with them, and I want to bring some attention to that. We will be talking about the actor and the sometimes activist amandla Stenberg. But before we go any further, just want to do a quick little shameless plug. Me and my friend Amaya Janelle, our new essay collection, You Still Cannot Call Me Sis, which is part 2 to Do Not Call Me Sis, is available for purchase. It is a collection of essays about fandom nonsense, white feminism, entertainment, ableism, and misogynoir. If that interests you and if you like my work that I have here on my YouTube channel, please consider purchasing our book. Now, let's continue. We are talking about amandla Stenberg and what brought on this discussion. We're talking about the new live action adaptation of the book Children of Blood and Bone. I did not finish the book because it wasn't my cup of tea. I hopefully will get back around to reading it, but amandla Stenberg has been cast in this live action adaptation, and last time I checked, there are no biracial people in that book. Like, I'm pretty sure nobody is biracial, at least none of the main characters are biracial, and the character that amandla Stenberg is said to play deals with colorism with their storyline and is not light-skinned. They are often shunned for being the darkest in their family. Now let's go ahead and state two things that are true regarding amandla Stenberg. One, they are biracial, that meaning that they do not have two black parents, meaning that they are not a monoracial black person. And two, they are light-skinned. Now, if you're close to my age range or if you're familiar with young adult novels, that's how a lot of people are familiar with amandla Stenberg because they have starred in quite a few young adult novel to film adaptations. They are best known for playing the role of Rue in the Hunger Games series, but also you may be familiar with their face being plastered all over the internet because they were very heavily involved with the Art Ho collective that turned into a hot ass mess. I really don't know what happened with that collective, but I remember somebody had said something about how amandla Stenberg always at the crime scene. Now, when Amandla was cast in the Hunger Games film, they were very young and at an age where like they should not have been in this industry, because I really don't think people need to be working that young. They had dealt with so much racism from non-black Hunger Games fans, because plenty of people that were fans of the Hunger Games were in denial that the character Rue was black. And if you read that book, it was made abundantly clear that Rue was black. So they simply got harassed for, existing back then. And that still continued on as the years have gone by, as plenty of people still just don't like the fact that Rue is black. So moving forward, fast forwarding towards The Hate U Give. The Hate U Give, I'm gonna be honest, I can't stand the book. That's why I never decided to watch the film. But amandla was cast to play the main character in The Hate U Give, who is a dark-skinned person. And numerous people spoke up about how this casting was wrong for two major reasons. That one, amandla Stenberg is biracial, and two, amandla Stenberg is light-skinned. I don't care what no one has to say about this, but I think black characters need to be played by black actors. When I say black actors, I mean monoracial actors. I mean actors that have two black parents. Because you want to know why? This industry has way too many issues with the colorism, and it is doing everything that it can to erase black girls from this space. All right? Want to know how I know? I have personal experience. When I used to work on film sets, there would be times where I would be the only black girl there. There will also be times where I would be the darkest black girl in the room, and I am not dark. This industry has a big fat ass issue with colorism, and it has beef with black women and black feminine presenting people, and it is tiring. Want to know how else I know this is tiring? They are trying to do everything that they can to try and push black girls and women away from the screen. And they often do so with replacing them with biracial people. Biracial light-skinned people, to be specific. They are trying to do everything they can to erase black girls. They canceled Saturdays on Disney Channel, and a lot of that had to do with low viewership. That low viewership had to do with Disney Channel barely fucking promoting the series. Also, Moon Girl. Moon Girl is another series about a monoracial dark-skinned black girl. Disney fucking canceled it. Said it was low viewership. They didn't fucking promote it. Invincible Fight Girl. Another series about a black girl. Comes on Adult Swim. They barely promoted it. We don't even know the current fate of that series. So yeah, I think a lot of people had every right to be upset with amandla for taking a role that was meant for not a monoracial black person, but also a dark-skinned black person. And we know this industry hates dark-skinned women. So moving forward, there was a situation that happened with another film that they starred in called The Darkest Minds. And while that character very much was like racially ambiguous, the casting situation that happened in that movie, I don't fault amandla for this right there, because they just auditioned. I blame the casting director fully for this, but they decided to give amandla's character two black parents. Amandla does not have two black parents. Amandla is biracial. Later on, she played Elizabeth Eckford in an episode of Drunk History. Now, if you're familiar with Elizabeth Eckford, you more so are familiar with her because she was a part of the Little Rock Nine. Elizabeth Eckford is a real person. Elizabeth Eckford is a black woman. Amandla Stenberg is biracial. Once again, playing a character that is monoracially black. I also would like to point out how they are the voice of Spider-Bite, and when it comes to voice acting and biracial characters, there is just a lot to get into with that because I would rather a black character be voiced by a biracial person than a white person. There's a lot of things to get into regarding that. But last time I checked, Spider-Bite is black. Spider-Bite is not biracial black specifically. Amandla Stenberg is biracial. Now we get up into the point where they starred in the most recent Star Wars series that ended up flopping so hard that it got canceled. And I don't really have much to say about it, is because I never really been the biggest fan of Star Wars, nor did I watch the series. So I cannot speak on what I have not seen. But I did see a lot of the Star Wars fandoms behavior, and a lot of them were sending hate towards Amandla Stenberg because, for those of you guys who don't know, the Star Wars fandom is notorious for being racist. They are also very much notorious for being misogynistic, as Amandla Stenberg is a feminine presenting person. That fandom is awful. And Amandla did what they did and stood up to them and spoke up about the racism that they had to deal with from this fandom. Mind you, that this is not the only time that Amandla Stenberg has spoken up about racism, because in the 2010s, during the time when they were involved with the Art Ho Collective, they would call out the use like cultural appropriation that a lot of white artists would do. Like, it's very clear that Amandla Stenberg is educated on the subject of race. We see this time and time again. They are known for activism. As I mentioned, that so much of the Art Ho Collective had to do with activism in art. At one point, they were named Feminist of the Year. They were quick to call out Kylie Jenner on their anti-blackness, as they should have, because Kylie Jenner and the entire Kardashian clan, I can't stand them. And the situation regarding amandla, colorism, and the hate you give happened back in 2017. It is 2025, and yet here again they are doing the same thing. This is repeated behavior, but you want to know something that I have noticed when it comes to this actor right here? They are fully aware of racism. They seem to be pretty well educated on the subject of racism, but when it comes to the cousins of racism, they don't seem to get it. They don't seem to get why colorism is an issue, and part of that has to do with the fact that Amandla benefits from it. Amandla Stenberg only gets half of it correct when it comes to their activism regarding race. Because anytime it has to do with white people or non-black people in general being anti-black, they know everything in the fucking book. But when it comes to colorism, specifically colorism within the black community and the mixed race community, they seem to be all types of confused and don't really have much to say about it. And it's pretty disappointing to see, because a lot of people have given Amandla some grace when it came to the situation with the hate you give, because they were about 18 years old during the time of that. And you know, when you're at that age, you're not that smart as you think you are. So I was like, okay, I give them some grace for that. They'll probably never do it again. But then the other two instances of them taking a role from a black girl and a black woman, I was just like, okay, this is looking bad, because I didn't even realize that they took those two other roles until I went back and looked at the situation that had to do with Children of Blood and Bone. Amandla is in their mid-20s now. At this point, they need to be fully aware of what they are doing. And yes, we can sit here and say blame the casting director all day long. But also, we need to start pointing the finger at these grown-ass actors that go into that audition role and audition for roles that are meant for monoracial black people. We need to start doing that. And that concludes my rant. That's all I have to say. If you guys are interested in me and Amaya's book, the link to that will be down below. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, night, or whatever time of the day you chose to watch this video. I'm just thankful that you watched it with the ads on. Alright, thank you. Goodbye.